All right, so welcome back. Hey, how y'all doing?
Welcome up.
My name is Kevin, host of podcast Chop It Up. This is the place where we have those conversations that brothers are having across the country in barbershops, and we do this completely off the top, off the dome. Welcome back. If you've missed us last week, that's okay. We missed ourselves, and who knows, you might see us next week, depending on how things go. Before we jump into it, let me also say this. Because most of you are going to watch this from the beginning, whether you watch it on the replay, we are going to move strictly to YouTube. So make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'll put that information in there going forward. That way you can stay up to date with everything we do here at Chop It Up and see all of our past episodes. I've introduced myself. I'll jump out the way, let the brothers introduce themselves, and we will jump into our topics for today.
Tari Watkins, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Good to be with the fellas. I'm ready to get into it.
Darian Lewis, Tulsa, Oklahoma, just up the street from Tori, and missed you guys. Yeah, missed you guys last week, but had a good time hanging out with my brother, celebrating him and his wife and their accomplishments and upward mobility in the kingdom, so to speak. And definitely ready to talk about man stuff today. Let's go.
Definitely. Yes. So for those that are just wondering, my wife and I, we were affirmed as apostle and prophet respectively, and appreciate Darian for coming out, Tori for sending his love from Oklahoma City, because I am not just up the street from either one of them. I'm like around the corner, over the woods and through the valley is where I am.
Yes, sir.
Yes, on top of the valley. We got to climb up the valley to get to you.
Yeah,
brother.
actually.
Yeah, you got to climb up the mountain and then slide down into the valley to get down to where we are.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I said up the valley, didn't I? Did I just say up the valley?
You did say up the valley. It's okay. We understood.
You did.
And you think I went to school in Oklahoma. Good grief. Ooh. That was bad.
Well, you did go to ORU,
oh, my petty meter is way over there.
Dude,
I am not prepared.
Where is mine?
Oh, and we're going to get petty tonight.
Listen.
Got it!
So let's start with, so it's NBA playoffs. Lots of good basketball happening left and right.
Lots of good basketball.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
definitely.
I played ball in grade school and high school. I played intramurally in college while I was there.
Yep.
I'm not the greatest, obviously, but I'm not trash.
Right.
But even I know, stay in your lane. Don't
Please?
talk trash.
Please stay in your lane.
To the one who is carrying the team, and people forget you're on the team. That's not the type of trash talk you do. Because here's the thing: if you're streaky, as some people are, if you're a player who you can have a great game one day, and then for the next 6 games you're trash, and then you have another great game, talk trash in that game that you're doing great. Drop 25 on their head, and then talk all the trash you want. Don't get in the newspaper saying, people over 40 don't, old people don't really do nothing for me. You got to drop 40 on me. Basically, he poked the bear. Now, I'm not a LeBron fan, but I am going to give him his respect. Dillon Brooks, LeBron James, Dillon, stay in your lane. So we can talk about that, and then we'll talk about the news that happened today regarding Dillon Brooks.
He did more than poke the bear, bro. He literally went up to it, gave it a noogie, and expected the bear not to do anything. And I don't get that thought. I mean, trash talk like that, bulletin board material, that stuff usually happens a lot. It happens. Football, hockey, baseball, basketball, it happens.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't normally do it if you're not the guy. It doesn't work that way. Dillon Brooks, you got your soundbite out. You got people talking about you. Clickbait, whatever you want to call it. But that was not the attention that you wanted, brother.
At all.
Because everybody, even not just the stadium, not just the arena, sports talk shows trolled him, putting up stats, comparing it to LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, you have no idea what you did. That's his fault. He's a grown man. So you know what? You made that bed, you made that terrible soup. It's time to eat it.
Oh yeah, and he's eating it. He's eating it, definitely.
Seconds.
You know,
he's got to go back for seconds, and I'm making him lick the bowl. Yeah,
I'm wondering if when he was thinking that was a good idea, that he thought somehow he was going to get under LeBron's skin.
That's what he thought. Yes,
exactly. Yes, talk to Austin Reeves, not LeBron.
Right. I mean,
right.
Yeah, he really did think that he was going to get under his skin, do a Rodman or Draymond Green or somebody, get up and throw his game off. That's not going to work with him.
No,
it's not. No, because he's never catered his game to prove a point to someone else.
No,
he has
and won't. And won't.
And what did he do that game? He got others involved. And that's what he did. He got others involved. Russell went off. I mean, AD looked like Kentucky AD. Seriously, I'm like, where's this been the past 3 years?
So the other nickname I've heard for AD,
which is
half man, half season.
Oh, please throw it up for me.
All right,
throw it up for me.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. It's going. It's going. It's going. Ah!
Yeah.
Oh, that was
half man,
classic.
half season.
Who said that?
Oh,
was that
yeah, I heard it. It was on one of the ESPN shows, I think. Ooh. Half man, half season.
Because I know Barkley's the one that said street clothes, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
I still love that one. I'm sorry.
Yep.
It's still great. It's still great.
Man, listen, if somebody walk past you, hey, street clothes.
So
that is classic.
I guess you guys haven't heard the latest regarding Dillon Brooks.
I have not heard the latest.
I have.
So today, news has been floating around, according to multiple league sources, that the Memphis Grizzlies has said, you're a free agent. Under no circumstances are we going to bring you back.
Come back.
Not we'll consider our options and see what we do in the offseason. Under no circumstances. In fact, take your nameplate. We don't want it.
We're good.
Don't just clean out your deodorant. Don't just clean out your locker. In fact, take the locker with you. We don't want any
take
part
the locker.
to be left.
Take the jerseys. Just take it all. Take it all, because you will not be back here. For a club to release a statement like that, they could have easily just said, whatever they wanted to say, very lightly, very gently, or say nothing and just let the business take care of itself.
Yep.
But they released a statement. Under no circumstances will he be returning to the Memphis Grizzlies. Like, they're done.
Let me translate this for some other people. In other words, the Memphis Grizzlies organization has said, Dillon Brooks, you single-handedly pissed off that whole team and caused us to lose the series. Because that whole squad had a point to prove.
Yep.
For LeBron, because they love, apparently this team has no issues with LeBron whatsoever, apparently, and they're playing for him incredibly well. And they played like they had a point to prove, and so did LeBron. And so, yeah, they're single-handedly saying you're the reason that they came out and whooped us by 40. By the way, Dillon Brooks, there's your 40. So it came a different way, but there's your 40.
But you got your 40.
But what was LeBron's stat line again? It was insane. I mean, it still was for 38 years old against that type of a team that plays defense well. Yeah, bro. It was that whole squad had a point to prove.
Yeah.
They're like, well, you know what? Let's leave no doubt. Leave no doubt. Which is why I could never be a coach. That would be me. No, run it up. Prove a point. That would be me. Your job is to stop me from scoring, and that's literally what the Lakers did that night. Your job is to stop us, and you can't right now. 40. We're talking playoff teams, bro. And a closeout game, and you get drugged by 40. This is possibly your last game of the season. It wasn't even close.
At all.
Nope. Yeah, they definitely had something to prove.
Oh,
yeah, poking the bear is an understatement.
Yeah.
You know, and every talk show that I had a chance to peek in on, they're all saying the same thing, bro. If you're gonna talk, at least produce.
At least
show up. Not even just produce. At least show up. Okay. At least carry your own bucket. And he actually hurt the team rather than help them.
Oh yeah, he had a B squad stat line, bro. It may have been C squad stat line. Like 3 rebounds.
So somebody help me out.
Yeah.
Why didn't they yank him?
Who else do they have on the Grizzlies?
I get it. I
mean, they're already down Adams and then the other kid, the young kid. They're already down 2 as far as injuries. And Dillon Brooks, outside of what the Lakers have done, he's an actual halfway decent defender. He is. But when you run your mouth and you're playing against, arguably one of the better players in the league right now. I mean, LeBron is. I mean, regardless if you like him or not. And you got a squad that's playing with incredible confidence. And Austin Reeves is playing like a first-round draft pick. And you got D'Angelo Russell with a new lease on life now. And as relaxed as he can be, just squaring up and shooting it from the parking lot and draining it, driving to the basket. I mean, now I think you can, bro. This is how you got LeBron. I'm taking my hat off, bro. You got LeBron reverse dunking twice in one game. He doesn't normally do that.
No,
they sent a message to Dillon Brooks. Seriously, they sent a message, and that's his fault. It's his fault.
Will he get picked up?
Oh yeah, somebody's going to pick him up.
I'm sure he will.
Oh yeah, he's going to get picked up somewhere. Now they may tell him to shut his trap, but he's getting picked up. He's getting picked up by somebody. He's
I wonder if there's going to be a clause in that contract.
Shut your mouth closed.
Shut your mouth clause. Yes. Hirsch.
Yeah,
every time you open your mouth, you're getting fined.
I mean, if Grayson Allen is still in the league, then Dillon Brooks is going to be there. If we got a Duke guy that's like Grayson Allen still in the league, then he's good.
Wow. Okay.
So
got it.
Yeah.
Good deal.
We'll see.
In fact, with the way LeBron goes, he might actually pull for Dillon Brooks.
The llama strikes again.
Do you know how salty Dillon Brooks would be if that actually happened?
Oh, that would be hilarious.
I don't know if he'd be salty. I don't know if he'd be salty.
I'm talking about like, God dang it, really? I got to go play with this dude now if he did.
But here's the thing.
All right, let's go.
He can practice with him because he know he ain't going to get hit in the mouth.
Right.
True.
Right.
Jordan will hit somebody in the mouth. Draymond Green will hit somebody in the mouth.
True.
LeBron, no.
Yeah,
So
not so much. Yeah, no. His revenge would be to get him on the squad and him have to do whatever LeBron tells him.
Right.
true.
That would be
True.
that would be it in a nutshell.
True.
Like,
So-
let me
yeah.
show you power. Yeah, let me actually show you power.
Right.
On the court and off. Absolutely.
Predictions for the series that starts tonight?
Golden State, LA.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I'm going Golden State in 6.
I
This
concur.
is hard, man.
Yeah.
I mean, Steph
Yeah.
did drop 50 in that last game against Sacramento. 50.
And it was a beautiful sight to see.
Dude, it was like a symphony, bro. I'm like,
Listen,
and then he showed his young handles. I'm like, they can't touch him.
Yeah.
There were so many. He's dribbling around everybody. I'm like, we haven't seen this in a few years.
Yeah.
I mean, he literally said, "Okay, this is it. I got it."
but that's Golden
and-
State, and that's
played
the thing
lights
about
out.
that team. Yeah, that's the thing about that team. If they make it to the playoffs, I don't
They're
care
scary.
what preceded before got them there. I don't care what seed they came in at.
Right.
They're
They
scared.
turned into a different team.
Hey, playoff Jimmy Butler never shows any of this in the regular season.
True.
And how many years has he done this in a row now? They call him playoff Jimmy now.
Yeah,
Because what
What-
you don't see, if he did what he's doing right now in the regular season, one, he'd probably be hurt. He probably wouldn't play as much as he did. But he definitely MVP up there. I mean, at least talk of MVP.
right.
Well, do you know what
Yeah.
the conspiracy is surrounding Jimmy?
No, what?
So there's a rumor. Don't give too much credence to it, but there's a rumor that he could be the illegitimate son of Michael Jordan.
I heard that.
I've heard that.
I heard that.
Yeah.
They even put split
They put
split
side
the
by
faces.
side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, yeah,
Yeah.
that would be
Interesting.
interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm wondering. Now, let's just pretend for a second. Let's just say that's the truth. It actually happened.
Okay.
I'm wondering how I would feel if I were one of his legitimate sons. Because
they're
they
trash.
didn't.
They're trash.
Because they didn't get that talent.
They
They-
didn't get the talent.
Not
It-
even close.
It didn't even come because remember, I don't know if y'all remember his brother, Larry, was
Mhm.
playing for some not even like G League. It was like USBL type of stuff.
Right. Right.
And he was bad. He was
Oof.
just trafficking off the name.
Right.
So, and the kid, I
Yeah.
think the daughter actually was the one that at least had some game, but the sons, nah.
The pressure
Yeah.
alone, dude. Just Dad.
Yeah,
don't
the
come-
expectations. Yeah,
Dad,
the
you don't have to come to
expectations.
the games. You don't have to come to the games, Dad. You're good.
Please don't come to the game.
We'll just let you know. Don't come.
Matter of fact, we're not even going to tell you. Okay, we're just because there's a conversation behind that too. We're just not.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you guys make it to the game? Yes, sir. How did you do? We won.
We did. We played. We competed.
We were there. Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We laced up. We actually touched the court, pops.
We were on the court.
Ball
Yeah.
was dribbled. It
Yes.
went in the basket at least once.
The clock went off.
Cheerleaders led cheers.
Yeah.
Fans jumped in the stands.
Popcorn was
was a
made. Yeah,
Yep, it was
exactly.
a game.
It was a basketball game.
And it ended.
Good night. Good night, Dad.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Love you. Heck
Mwah.
yeah. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Just don't even come. Just don't do it.
Don't even do it.
Mm-mm,
Just don't do it. Nah.
mm-mm.
Nah. But yeah, that would be deep, man. If that actually turned out to be the truth, which obviously more than likely no one's actually going to run that test. But
I mean, the math fits,
Um,
though. The math fits.
who's his mama?
Who's Jimmy Butler's mama?
Yeah.
That don't mean nothing because
It doesn't mean
Jordan.
anything.
Jordan wasn't too faithful to Juanita It was his wife.
I
at the
get
time.
that. I get that. I'm
What do
just
you
trying
mean
to figure out the
Was it
circumstances.
too faithful? He wasn't faithful.
I'm being nice. Listen,
Why?
I'm hedging my words.
Turning over a new leaf right now.
I'm hedging my words because I don't want to be that pastor that doesn't know how to hedge their words and say things that actually make sense.
You are the
Speaking
segue
of-
king, sir.
Speaking of,
You
great
are the
segue,
king
brother.
of segue. Oh,
Yes, I'll give Bronny respect. Bronny is handling the pressure well right now.
he is. Yes.
He is.
if you watch Bronny though, and I don't know if they've had conversations or if this is just innate. If you really watch Bronny outside off the court, you can see this desire and this hunger to max out what he has.
Yes.
To me, outside of his dad,
Yes.
that it's like not how can I put it? Because I've also seen where kids who want to either want to outshine dad or want to be outside of dad or mom or whoever actually self-sabotage. They actually self-destruct. But it's like Bronny's actually putting in the work, with his dad, but outside of he's like he wants it for himself, and that's one of the things that I'm impressed with and very proud of. I'm glad to see that.
He's handling it very well. I mean, I heard somebody the other day says, "Oh well, yeah, Bronny, he's not league material." I went, "No, I'm sorry, not league material." He said he shouldn't have been in a McDonald's All-American. I went, "Wait, what?" Okay, now you're just hating just to be hating,
right?
The disdain that you have for LeBron, don't put it on his son, because his son is holding his own.
Right, let him earn it.
Yeah,
let him earn it.
I mean, come on now. So, the phrase here says that he was abandoned by his father when he was an infant. Jimmy Butler, when he was born in 1989.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Very, very interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah, that test is not going to happen. So.
Oh no, it's not going to happen. I'm just saying though. I'm looking at him.
Man, wouldn't that be wild? You
bro?
know all the movie.
Bro, I'm seriously looking at this picture right now. I'm like, You never know.
You never know.
Nope.
You never know
at all.
And unfortunately, we probably never will.
I mean, there's a greater chance that he's Sean Kemp's kid than Jordan's, but I mean,
well, listen, there's a greater chance. There's a greater chance that you and I might be his kid.
Hey, Nick Cannon ain't got nothing on Sean Kemp, bro.
Listen,
nothing,
nada,
not a thing.
For all we know, Nick Cannon could be Sean Kemp's son.
Hey,
In the family tradition.
Hey, like father, like son.
Oh my God!
You never know. You
just never know.
You really don't. Oh, too bad. Too bad Jerry Springer's no longer here.
23andMe, where are you?
Ancestry.com, where you at?
Well,
where you at?
Jerry didn't do the whole.
Oh no, that was Maury.
Yeah, Maury did the
Maury
whole.
Povich is the one
baby
did,
daddy.
Yeah.
Oh, Jerry did it a couple of times. He did it every once in a while.
But
not
Jerry's
as
big
much
thing
as Maury,
was
though.
finding out that you were dating a man, finding out that your cousin was your father's uncle.
Right. That you
your
were
uncle,
a man.
Your uncle is your dad.
Right.
That you were a man in a former
and
life.
then the fights. That's where we got all the fights from. Was from Jerry.
Jerry Springer was the one. The people's family tree was a straight line. So yeah, that's who Jerry Springer had.
Exactly.
just being honest. Yeah. Just no branches whatsoever. Just a straight.
Help me out. Help me out, brother. Just throw it up real quick. Just. Thank you. That's one for me.
All right. So something else that we got to talk about, and I know this will probably take us a little time to kind of dig through. But Pastor Tim Ross, who don't know him, have not met him, but actually I actually like him. I respect what he does. He has good content and everything. But he made basically preaching at Mike Todd's church at Transformation Church, made some things that I get what he was trying to get across, but don't know if it went over well. So I'm going to play the clip so you can hear for yourself, and then we're going to discuss it.
God, I love to listen to it again. Oh.
We don't make it rain on strippers. We only reverence one stripper, and that's the one that took off glory to put on humanity and then get butt naked on a cross to die for both you and me. The only stripper I'm in love with is Jesus. And he's the one that puts that bread in my pocket. That bread in my pocket. I got 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 bread in my pocket.
All right. So there's the continuing of that phrase, that song, what have you.
Man, the first time I saw that, I literally fell out laughing. I laughed so loud.
Laughing from there's many different directions a laugh can go. So
true. I found it comedic for a few reasons.
Okay.
I found part of it the level of offense people have with Transformation Church. Transformation Church just has trolls because Tim Ross has said much worse on his own podcast.
Yes, he has.
Much worse.
Yes,
and you don't see the uproar. But
because it's linked to Transformation Church.
If it's coming from Transformation, and I don't know if y'all saw the quotes around church.
Yes, I did.
Transformation Church. I found that quite comedic. You know, Transformation Church just has trolls, and could that have been said better? I don't think so. I mean, at the end of the day, you either go there, or you actually don't go there. You know, there's no how do you clean that up to me.
Right, there is no cleaning it up. Right.
Yeah, there's no cleaning that up.
Either you say it or you don't.
Right, and yet at the same time, was he really off? Because when I first heard it, I'll just say this: when Kevin first mentioned it, because I hadn't seen it yet. When Kevin first mentioned it, you know, I thought the reference was going to be when Jesus stripped his clothes and washed the disciples' feet.
Right.
We have several situations where Jesus actually purposely got naked. So, you know, that's why I was like, okay, where are we going to go with this? I agree with that. He definitely was threading the needle.
Yes. I don't look at this as what he said as heresy or blasphemy. Was he threading a needle? Yes. Like Jay said, I don't disagree with that. There's just some people that are going to hear certain words and get triggered. And so what a lot of people don't realize is that when people got crucified, they didn't have clothes on. What we see is the PG-13 versions.
Mm-hmm.
No, there was no need to put clothes on them. So that aspect, yes. Did he strip? Did he strip? Well, yes. And when we think of that, I get the wordplay, but I said it last week and actually week before last. Jesus spoke in parables. He told stories, and he spoke in parables with what was going on with them in that day. He spoke to them in their language based on what was important to them or what they knew or how they lived their lives. The parable of the sower, the 12 virgins, the talents. I mean, we can keep going on and on. The prodigal son. I mean, all that stuff was done based on the time and that period. So if we have somebody doing that now and doing it nowadays, but we only pick and we don't like the way it's being said, or we don't like how that message is being delivered, even though there is truth in it, then we're at that point we're looking at it incorrectly. Now, I can't get on stage and pull something like that off because that's just not me. But if it's able to resonate with someone to where they understand the gospel, at that point, I'm not going to criticize them for it. Is it me? Of course, no, it's not me.
Mm-hmm.
But does that help bring some type of revelation to someone that doesn't know? It very well could be.
At the end of the day, we still don't know what led up to that statement.
We don't know
always the
right,
challenge.
because
we don't know.
I haven't watched the entire message, and I don't plan on
Right.
watching the whole message. But
Just like the videos from Ransom, it's taken out of context. We haven't seen the full context of all that. Now, Ransom, I'm familiar with, but this what Ross is speaking about now, we don't know that full context. And Jay, yeah, you definitely have to read your audience, because if you're a comedian, a joke that you tell in New York City is not going to go over the same way in Salt Lake City, Utah. It's just not going to. Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and you tell a joke there, and you tell the same one in Newark, New Jersey, it's going to get two different responses, because yes, you have to know your audience. From that video, he knew his audience, without a doubt. I mean, you can tell by the overall reaction. The people having the issue aren't the ones in the building. They're the people online that are watching.
Right.
Because if those same people, had they been there, would have had an issue before we even got to that Sunday.
Yes.
They would have those people would have had an issue well before. Now, I get all that. I guess the thing I want to just ask is, are we in an era where we are being edgy for the sake of being edgy?
Right.
Because, again, I think we all agree, not something I would have said. Now, I've said some stuff,
right,
especially, I think one time I used to say something like, I want to be addicted to you like a crackhead. But that was the audience, because I said that sometimes in Okmulgee. Okmulgee, that will work.
It does work.
What up to all our Okmulgee folks?
Yeah,
they get it.
Yeah.
Right. Now, I couldn't do that at a Presbyterian church. I couldn't do that at some other churches, right? But have we reached a point where we are being edgy for the sake of edginess? And then how far up to the edge do we go before we go over the cliff? Because, again, I understand where he was going. I think we all understand where he was going with that. I understand the word play that he was using with that.
Yeah.
But was it something that, and I think for some, and because not everyone, yes, does transformation have trolls? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
No question about that. But some of this, I don't know if every response has been out of the troll community, but has some of the response, I think some of the response has been from those that are looking at it and saying, I get what you're saying, but you equated our Lord and Savior to a stripper.
To a stripper, right.
Right. So then do we just kind of skip past that edginess for the sake of edginess and say, well, we were trying to reach people? Or is there is there still a barrier, if we will, to keep us from going too far into the profane? Hopefully I'm making sense with that.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Jesus himself was edgy, but there was a purpose behind it. There was a lesson, a blessing behind him being edgy. And you're right, that question is a valid question. Are we doing it just to be edgy, or are we doing it because at this point God has called us to be edgy so we can reach certain people? There is a difference. I don't know the answer to that.
I agree with the question. Absolutely. I don't know if we've gotten to a place. Preachers have always decided to go the edgy route.
Always, yes,
to gain eyes and claps for as long as I can remember.
Yep,
but when we look at Jesus and his edginess was never for the sake of edginess. He was cutting according to truth.
That's true.
And so if when and he would give hard truths
Yes.
in ways that he was like, now for in the sake of in the true spirit of edginess, now put that in your pipe and smoke it. He would say stuff that would just blow the hair back off of people, and to the point where he lost, what was that, 80-90% of his followers after one statement, and looked at his 12, his closest ones, and said, "Are you finna leave me too?"
Right.
And he didn't say, wait, no, what I meant was
right.
No, it was like he did that, I wouldn't say, well, no, I'll say on purpose. He did that on purpose. He laid that out there. This is what this looks like spiritually. Now, if you can't hear it, spiritually, then it explains why you're leaving and you need to leave.
Right.
This is where I separate the boys from the men, more or less. Because if I can send you away with one statement, you needed to go anyway.
Yeah,
right. More than likely you're here for wrong reasons. But again, Jesus said very, very hard things through truth. He was trying to lay out truth. I don't know if his parables ever really offended.
True.
Because he was saying things. Yeah, he was saying things, particularly, he that has an ear, let him hear. If you're not hearing it, it wasn't for you.
Right.
But then those rock hard, haymakers that he would throw, those weren't parables.
Right.
No, they weren't. Yeah,
those weren't parables. This is the truth.
For those who think you haven't sinned, yeah, you can go and throw the first stone. But the ones that have sinned, don't throw anything. Nobody throw anything. Exactly. If you think you're good enough, step up. Let's go. Nope. Nobody. All right, then sit down and shut up. I mean, that's about how it was. I mean,
true.
Yeah, I'm loosely translating, but that's the way it came across.
Yeah. So
and as Jay said earlier, this has been going on for years, but the internet and access has changed everything. I'll definitely agree with that. I think that we have the internet, social media, and the ability to just take a clip,
right,
many times out of context, because again, we don't know what preceded it. We don't know. It seemed like just based upon the end song, if you will, that it was a sermon about money, is what it seems like.
That's what it seemed like. Yeah.
So how we got from throwing money on booty cheeks.
Yeah. If you look at the screen, I forgot what it said. It had something to do with money or blessings.
And if I'm not mistaken, they're in a series about money right now. They're in a series about finance.
Yeah.
So yeah,
the lead up to that, don't know how they got there. I
don't know.
I can take the word and I can find a path through a lot of things, but I don't know how we got from talking money to throwing money on booty chicks to Jesus stripped to I got bread in my pocket. Right. I don't know. But again, I haven't listened to the entire sermon, so I can't say that at least his theology or his thesis did not flow and find themselves at that point.
Right. And there's something that the thing that Jay just said is something that we need to think about. He said it's been going on for a while, which is true. Ashley and I had a conversation, I think last week, because she sent me other. She says, "What is going on with these pastors today?" I said, "Ashley, it's not just today. Preachers have been saying stupid stuff for decades, long before you were born. It's just that now people can go back and find footage or their cell phones. So it's not just nowadays. It's been happening for decades. Before
sometimes it was a desire to be relevant and not knowing.
Right.
I think I told you how my pastor, one of my pastors, in her message, she said, "Whoop, there it is," and we were like, "Pastor, hold on, wait." That ain't saying what you think it's saying.
That is not it.
That's not it, Pastor. Love you, but that ain't the one. That's not the phrase you want to pull out.
That is you know what though? I will defend some of these pastors because I was in training one day talking about calling a customer and you saying something to them and pissing them off and they just hanging up the phone. And I literally said, "Yep, you call a customer and they get pissed, it's going to be hit it and quit it." I went, "Oh no." I was like, "Oh no." And I literally stopped right in the middle of class. And I'm like, "Okay, y'all, scratch that from the record. Forget what I just said." And they were like, wow, really? Is that what we're learning in class? And I'm like, yeah, no, that's not what we're learning today. So yeah, stupid stuff can happen, but that's not
song
most
titles
of it.
that don't make great sermon titles.
Yes,
I don't know if y'all remember.
Like Kia, My Neck and Back. That would not make a great sermon title.
I don't even know how you could put that in context. Like in any nowhere.
Simon carried the cross and didn't complain about his neck or his back.
No.
You know what? I'm gonna work that into a song one day.
No, dear God, no. Please don't.
Right in the middle of worship.
Please don't. Do y'all remember? This was a number of years ago when Jamal Bryant, got really caught up when he used "These Hoes Ain't Loyal."
Yeah, I remember that.
Mm-hmm. To the point where So here we go again. Edgy for edginess sake.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
When he said that, he's just clicking along, and then all of a sudden it's like it fits. So let me just say it, and the place went bananas.
Yes.
To the point where Ebony Magazine wrote a whole article, because they were so. And I'm like, come on, religious people. I mean, I get it. He needed to be checked. He needed to be checked on that.
Yes,
but that wasn't something where it needed to hit national news,
or even in a jet. I mean, seriously, yeah.
Ebony, yeah.
The AME Church wasn't going to do that. The AME Church wasn't going to check him. It never did, as far as I know, checked him.
No, they didn't. He did apologize. He did a video apology. He did a written apology. But yeah, like you said, with cell phones these days.
Yeah.
When was the singer, the Moist guy? I don't know if y'all remember that.
Moist with that flame, two scoops of Raisin Sunshine shirt that he was wearing, dude. That Moist that went viral years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and that went viral.
Yes,
celebrities jumped on that. You know what I'm saying?
Just yeah, baby, it was terrible. It was bad.
It was horrible.
And the background singers didn't make it any better.
No,
I was about to say the background singers were looking at each other like, "Is this what we're doing right now?"
Oh, wait a minute, hold on, time out. Did you see the one where there was almost like a versus battle between the worship leader and the pastor? Like he was like a bishop or something. He's in the purple. Have y'all seen that one? Oh, I've got to send that.
What?
Oh, dude, I've got to say. Oh, dude, it was like the dude was just screaming while the regular dude was singing. The pastor got on a mic, or bishop, whoever he is, and was just screaming. And credit to the guy that was doing worship or singing a song, he didn't skip a beat. But I got to find it. I've got to find it.
You do.
My God.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Do. Definitely.
Definitely. I don't even know I don't know if that was
the stuff
Ashley sent it to me. I forgot who it was. I gotta find it though.
The goofiness we could have recorded when we were kids in church, bro. So this stuff really is, to me, it really isn't new, and I don't care how popular a pastor is versus how unpopular. Nowadays, your stuff can be taken and made. Somebody else did this to Transformation Church. They, they were going off about worship, and they were using the hell scene in Ransom, talking about these new churches with their new worship, and I'm like, wait, what? You stripped a section of a play. Right. But because we know how to put this out here with this air of authority behind it, people take it as truth. They're not going to investigate. They're not going to go any deeper. The same thing with Tim Ross. Hey, let's throw this up here. And like I said, Tim has said some wild stuff on his podcast. Yeah, wild stuff. I ain't seen nobody say a word about that podcast. And they have used that as like banners and ads, for the podcast, little striplets, the wild stuff, and no one has said a word. But when you get on that Transformation Church stage, I don't know if folks go there or they're just they've made it their mission to to troll or what, and so if somebody sees that's legitimate, says, oh, I have a beef with that, and then they put that out there is this air of legitimacy behind the complaint. When folks are not going to go back and look at that, they're not going to take the time. They're just not going to do it.
No, they're not.
Now, one thing I will say is that I think that some of because you said, Arian, that this has been going on for years, which I agree. I think this just amplifies it, because there are some churches that we grew up in where some of the stuff just would not be tolerated. Some of the stuff that we've seen come across social media, you'd have a pastor that would be like, "No, shut this down, cut the mic. We're not doing that today." Right. So you have those, but those aren't being amplified the way that things are being amplified now. Because I remember there was one somewhere where someone was like, love the F out of somebody, and it was like, love the forgiveness out of them. So it was like, so we do these things to jump up to the edge, and then we complain, well, I was doing it for the gospel.
The whole Boaz thing. I can't remember who did that one.
Yes.
And he had a whole list.
And his cousin's broke and
lazy,
his cousin dumb,
trifling. Right.
Yes.
Right. And I'm like, dude, Azusa had this was way back. Bishop, I can't remember his name now. He's passed since, his title message. Jesus got off his A, when you gonna get off yours? That was his title.
Yeah.
So, it definitely isn't new, but as you mentioned, we have a way to even something that may have been legit, we can piece it together to make it sound absolutely insane now.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah.
Can I tell you one thing Transformation Church is probably not doing?
What's that?
Worrying.
Care.
Yeah, that's true. You're right about that. They are not caring.
Did you hear that response to his statement? Did you see that crowd? Yeah, I think they're gonna be okay.
Yeah, I think they're gonna be all right.
And if authorities and leadership in both of those men's lives, Mike's and Tim's, pull their coattail, we may see something later on, or we may not. But I am confident, knowing both of them, having met Tim and been around him, having actually spent time with Mike, and being around him, Pastor Mike, Pastor Tim, want to be respectful. Both of those gentlemen, they are correctable. They are correctable. So
I agree.
At the end of the day, if it really is too far, they'll come back, but they are not afraid to go literally lean over that edge.
True.
Hold my shirt. I'm about to lean
and
in.
Again, if it's not for you, it's not for you.
Right.
That I've made the statement. I think that we have those that will swing the pendulum the other way and say, well, I miss the old church. I miss how church used to be. I'm not with all this the way it is now. And I hear that, but what I hear in that is I want church the way I got saved, not the way that this generation might need to experience God.
That's
because
exactly
the church that you experienced in the 70s and the 80s wasn't even the church of the 1800s or the 1300s or the 70 BC. 70 AD. So the God will continue to upgrade his technology.
Yes.
He is the same yesterday, today, and forever as far as his character. But the technology he uses, when I say technology, I'm just putting it in the context of you have a phone that goes through technology shifts every year, every month, whatever. We're seeing right now AI technology, which is coming into, and all AI technology really is extending the human thought process to do more outside of your own self. So the technology changes and shifts, but the character and nature of God. So if you want a church that is stuck on old technology, cool, stay there. Those of us that are advancing and pushing the kingdom forward, we'll continue to use the technology and use what God has given us to push forward in this new season.
And,
Sorry.
and again, unless you have your head, no, you're fine. You're
good. You're good.
Kudos. Because the other thing that we don't take into account, a lot of people, I should say, don't take into account, while they're choose to be offended by certain things that come from the church, they forget what these people, these young people, these kids are being bombarded with on a daily basis.
Not even daily basis. On a minute by minute basis.
Yes.
TikTok and Instagram and Snap and all of that.
At the youth encounter that I got a chance to participate in, and I was really looking around like, aren't I too old for this? The stuff that I heard though, literally blew my mind, but it also makes sense. These kids were legitimately asking, we were taught spells on how to manifest what we want. Is that right or wrong? They legitimately wanted to know, because as far as they were concerned, we're just looking for what works.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We have nothing else to go by. We're just looking for what works. Well, on TikTok, they're teaching us how to cast spells.
Right. Church
isn't teaching people how to pray. We're trying to get folks in our doors.
If you're in Tulsa, May 12th and 13th,
Segway
just
King,
a little plug. The Stir, which is what myself and my wife do, and we're bringing to churches, will be in Tulsa May 12th and 13th at Ignite Church Tulsa under Pastor Katria Bell. So definitely make sure we're going to teach people to pray on that Saturday. All right.
Yes, sir. I will be in the building. Yes, sir. But yeah, that's you're not seeing a lot of how-tos when it comes to
we're not.
The Word of God and the Kingdom of God. You're seeing a lot of preaching. You're seeing a lot of feel good messages, and that's the only way I know how to put it, where we keep emphasizing all your haters will be whatever's later.
Ain't nobody got that many haters, sorry, especially not with 3 followers on Twitter and 2 followers on Instagram.
Oh my goodness, but we have all these messages that feed the self, feed the self, and we love hearing it and don't even realize it's weakening you as a believer, because you have nothing to stand on when you actually get slapped with something real. You've not been prepared, you've not been empowered, but you've heard some stuff that made you feel good, or you heard something that made you like, woo, say that, all that stuff.
Listen, we were this after our affirmation service. Darren, you were out to dinner with us, but then the next day we went to breakfast with Apostle Graham, and he's telling us about his trips to Africa and the stuff that he is encountering there. Listen, I was like, I don't know if that's under my mantle right now. Listen, I'm gonna stay in my lane for right now, because he's talking about some of the stuff. I won't go into it, but Darren, you probably know. We'll talk about it offline. But
Haiti's no better. Haiti's no better.
Oh yeah, he like there are some countries I ain't taking nobody who ain't ready to go.
Oh yeah, that when I was signing up for missions at ORU, they said, "Oh, we need a group to go to Haiti." I said, "No, that ain't me. Okay, not it. 19, 20 years. Not it. I already knew. I went to Christian Faith Center, Bishop Mackie, Brandon Timberlake. I already know what's down there. I'm like, that's why nobody was going. They didn't have a team. Nah, I'm good.
Yeah. So
the third world, I would say the third world level of witchcraft is open, but the first world just is a little more hidden. It's as potent,
but it's not as out in the open as it is in a lot of third world countries,
because it's a part of their culture.
Right. It's more dangerous, in my opinion, from the aspect that it's very easy to fall into it if you don't know what you're looking at and looking for.
That's true.
There, it's so obvious. It's like you see the red flags.
Yes.
Here we get the yellow flags, and it's like, oh, it's okay. And then we find up and wake ourselves up with the red flag, but we've accepted the red flag as yellow for so long.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
crystals.
The level of deception in first world countries, for lack of a better term, is
Right.
That's the thing. You guys remember the board game that I sent you?
Yes.
Picture that board game.
Yes.
The
Ouija board with
the Holy
Jesus Christ
Spirit.
on it.
Yeah, the Holy Spirit. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's definitely a disguise for sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
most definitely.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And people are using it, and they're discovering demons. Demons are straight up talking to them through it because it is a Ouija board. But it says says Jesus and Holy Spirit, and it's got God and angels and and all this stuff. And so people are like, oh, this is Christianity. Because we're not, we're just I believe the vast majority of us, particularly our leaders who have a voice, are going to, as we mentioned before, start swinging with just hard truth, because that's what people need. All right, you're going to have to take this or leave it. You're going to have to make a decision with what I'm about to say to you.
Right.
I'm not. It's not just I hope you come back next week. Make a decision, because this is the truth right here.
What we fail to understand and realize in this time that we're in is that, just like with raising kids, we're the same as adults. We live better with truth, with structure, with boundaries, with direction.
Mm-hmm.
But we're in a place right now that, you can't tell me what to do. I can do what I want to do. I don't need you to show. I do what I want to do, when I want to do it, how I want to do it, and who I want to do it with. There's no truth. There's no structure. There's no boundaries. There's nothing there. But you're not living the life that you are enjoying. You think you are, but you're truly not. And we need that. That hard truth, Darian, is what we need. People don't want to accept it, but that's what we yearn for. I learned it after Amy passed, and finally understood why, when there was a lot of clutter, she was just uneasy. And then it finally hit me. Our lives are the same way. When there's chaos, when things aren't structured or organized, we're not settled. We're not in a place to where we can think soundly, because we're always thinking about stuff that needs to happen around us, because it feels like chaos around us. So just like with our house, our bodies, our soul is the same exact way. Without boundaries, structure, cleanliness, organization in our lives, it's pure chaos. And that's not the way to live.
You know what's funny?
People, I'm gonna put a pin in that, because I got to tell y'all, it's like slightly off topic, but something that Creasy said, something my daughter said one time about clutter. But go ahead, Darian.
Oh, I was just gonna say, even people who don't necessarily, they're not the neatest of people. They're not nasty. They just everything doesn't always be in its place at all times. But if they go somewhere, they expect cleanliness, organization, or they're not sticking around.
You're exactly right.
So even if we don't hold ourselves to that standard, whatever we're going into,
somewhere else,
we expect that. Like, if you want me to stick around, things have to be clean. Things have to be in order. Things have to be simple. I can't walk into chaos and you think that I'm actually going to stay here, be here, partake in whatever it is that's going on here. Just not going to happen. We hold that standard, and yet at the same time, as you mentioned, we'll look at everyone else and like, you can't tell me what to do. This is my life. Who are you?
Right.
And it's a, man, that's probably one of the most dangerous places we can be. But our culture has done everything it can to eliminate absolute truth. And something to live by. The statement that drives me up the wall is anyone that's saying my truth.
What? Somebody else mentioned that the other day, and I saw that. I'm like, we hear that a lot. Your truth, my truth. Yeah. No, truth is truth.
Your experience, yes. Your perspective, yes.
What you've gone through, yes.
I legitimize all of that.
Right. I agree.
but truth is its own entity.
It stands on its own.
We don't, and it's something to live to,
and nobody
live up
owns
to.
it. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not owned. Yeah.
you know.
All right. Well, we do have to wrap up because we have reached our hour.
Caricia, we
yeah.
got a minute.
Wait,
Yeah. No, I'll say this. So
okay.
Years ago, my daughter, we were trying to get her to keep her room clean, right? And so she makes the statement that a cluttered room is a sign of a genius. And I said, well, that's great. Get dumb and go clean your room.
Yes, sir. Yes,
And
sir.
that's when my daughter began to realize, my daddy don't always play with a full deck. He don't always play fair. He'll flip it on me in a moment.
He said, "Get dumb and clean.
Clean his room."
Oh,
Yes.
that is great.
So,
yes,
but,
sir.
Again,
yes, sir.
So, if you're watching right now,
nuggets of
my daughter
wisdom,
is
everybody.
amazing. Listen, real quick before we head out, though, also we are going to stop broadcasting on my personal Facebook page. We will be primarily on YouTube. So go right now to YouTube, and you're going to go to the Chop It Up podcast show. That's where you're going to go. You're going to subscribe. You can see some of our previous ones. We're going to build out that channel. We're going to build community there, and we're going to grow this podcast to where we can all kind of eat off of it going forward. That's the plan. That's the goal. And we're going to entertain you and have fun in here as well. So that's it for this episode of Chop It Up. We'll be here next Tuesday. Well, not here on Facebook, but we will be here on YouTube next Tuesday. So make sure you beat us there by going to make sure you subscribe right now. We'll see y'all next time. Have a great one. Be blessed.
Dillon Brooks, only you can prevent force.